Hello and a warm welcome to Federal special program Capital Beat. Just a day after the exit polls came and the polling in West Bengal got over, there are reports of EVM tampering and some 77 complaints have gone to the Election Commission. Now, according to the sources in the Election Commission, these complaints have come from Falta, Magrahat, Diamond Harbour, and Budge Budge constituencies. Now, this has emerged as a major flashpoint, accounted for 32 complaints, followed by Diamond Harbour, 29 complaints, Magrahat, 13 complaints, and Budge Budge, 3 complaints. Now, officials have said that 23 cases have been prima facie confirmed, including 20 from Falta. Now, after verifying all the complaints, the Election Commission is expected to review the findings at its full quorum meeting and decide where and when repolling should be conducted. Now, this has left everyone guessing because people are saying, what if the repoll happens? And another very important development or related to West Bengal development is the fact that just a day after the West Bengal Assembly elections concluded, today a Delhi court has granted bail to IPAC director Vinesh Chandel in a money laundering case. Now, Chandel was granted relief by after the court noted that the Enforcement Directorate has not opposed his bail, and hence the twin conditions under Section 45 of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act in the grant of bail did not apply. And this bail comes just 2 days after Chandel was denied interim bail on Tuesday, April 28th. Now, when the court ruled that his plea did not meet the threshold of exceptional humanitarian grounds necessary for granting such as relief. So we'll try and discuss both these developments as far as the Election Commission complaints are concerned. Will there be a repoll? How soon can the Election Commission come to a conclusion about a repoll, if at all it has to happen? And Vinesh Chandel being let off, what does it indicate? Joining me this evening is Shubhankar Bhattacharya, who is the Trinamool Congress spokesperson. Thank you so much, Shubhankar, for joining. And Sameer Purkaistha, our Northeast editor from the Federal, also joins us. Thank you so much, Sameer, for joining. And let me begin with Shubhankar. Shubhankar, what about these complaints which have gone to the Election Commission? Now, the Election Commission, what we are told, is going to have a full quorum meeting, and then they will decide whether this repoll will happen. There are some 77 constituencies where they are saying that Election Commission might consider a repoll. Which are these constituencies? As I pointed out, it's Falta, Diamond Harbour. And what does it go to show? These are basically complaints which have gone from the BJP. Or have there been complaints from the Trinamool as well?
Neither of the news channels or anybody is actually showing the complaint that has gone through the TMC or any other opposition party. There might have been complaints from the left parties as well. There might have been the complaint from the Congress as well. But they are not becoming, they are not raising any questions in news. We are not seeing anything in the national media. So what the major points that are coming up front is the 77 complaints, mostly which are raised by the BJP. And once it is raised by BJP, people can easily consider that that will be heard as well, and immediate action will be taken. Because they are coming from the masters of this Election Commission. So, at times I still get surprised that are the polls really over? I don't think so. Because for Ganesh Kumar, the polls are not over till the time they deliver what they have promised to the BJP. Even if it means that it can be repolling at every particular seat where Didi wins. And it is going to happen, I'm telling you. Some way or the other, they will do they still have got a lot of tricks up their sleeve. And every time we discover, we have never heard about logical discrepancy ever before. I don't remember. I never heard about logical discrepancy in UP or anywhere else. So all these new things came up in Bengal only. So yes, there will be a lot of actions will be taken. We completely understand till the time They completely uh, they cancel the entire seat of Jagir Khan. They are planning to do that. They are planning to do that. They want to somehow, make Jagir Khan incompetent,
No,
declare him
but these are
incompetent, and
allegations.
everything.
Shubhankar, Shubhankar, these are allegations on both sides. Now, BJP is saying that, there was a tape which was put on the election symbol. Some are saying that people used ink. Some are saying that they used perfume to erase the symbol. But why would one believe that TMC is also not indulging into all this? Because there have been allegations. They are saying that TMC is also equally indulging in these kind of electoral malpractices.
I guess they could have actually, easily played this narrative throughout. If they didn't have their, like Trump says, the boots on the ground, if they didn't get their boots on the ground over there in Bengal, if you didn't push 250,000 forces over there, if you didn't have your Singham, helping you out over there in the polls, you had your Singham, you had your entire polls, you have the entire system completely designed as per your liking. You transferred the officers immediately. 483 transfers that we have seen over there. So complete system is now designed as per your liking, as per your serviceability and everything. And still, if you have complaints, then it raises doubt. Then it raises doubt. How come is it possible that in in any particular booth where you have your people quite vigilant, it is happening, and then you are complaining? What were they doing? Sack them out then. So this is the problem. You can, it's very easy to set narratives in India because there is a group of favorables. If I have
No,
my
but there is
favors
one
got
question, Shubhankar. Shubhankar, there is one question. You were saying that nobody has raised the complaints of Trinamool Congress. So what stopped the party? You also, if there were complaints which Trinamool had lodged with the Election Commission for the first phase, then why didn't Trinamool Congress make a big hue and cry about it? If you have sent complaints of tampering during the
see
phase one polling, what was stopping Trinamool Congress from
now,
making it
now
into a hue and cry, like what BJP is doing?
no, Neeluji, see, this is the thing. We are talking about that there has been over 100 of complaints from the TMC, which we have raised towards the EC, but EC is not actually, they are not paying any cognizance to it. That is the
Okay,
problem. With the same thing, Mamta Banerjee is immediately going to the court. With every particular issue, we have to run to the court. Now, even if
right.
the court puts its fingers in the ear, what do you expect any other party to do? Because right at the moment, the Bengal elections have been anything but fair and free. And that is the problem that we are having over there. It is not about Trinamool, Trinamool comes to the road, they'll say, see, the polls are still on, and now all this agitation and everything, Trinamool is forcing it through. And now the thing is that after even raising hundreds of, and most of them were regarding the forces, somehow trying to, trying to influence the voters over there. It has been heard that while checking the documents of the voters, they were quietly, promoting that, why don't you want Paribortan? Why don't you, where exactly you are planning to vote? The forces are not supposed to, interact with the voters like that. Even the reporters have actually stopped to do so. The Bengal has been so much, I think they are much educated that most of the time I have seen when reporters try to interview the voters over there, they are not free to talk to them. They're not willing to reveal that where exactly they are willing to vote. So that was the kind of things we have seen on screen. So either of the thing is lie. So now the thing is that who is going to probe? Who is going to probe? Who is going to probe the forces over there? So that is the problem. If you are not paying the due cognizance even to the problems out there, or not you don't recognize the complaints that has been raised by the other party, so that means there is no point of calling it of your intention of delivering a free and fair elections is completely exposed now. So these are the things which ECI they have to answer to. But the
Right.
thing is, I think the ECI has gone completely shameless actually. They don't care. They don't care to answer to any of the questions. They don't care to respond to the public. They don't care to retain the trust at least. Where is
No,
that?
but what is going to
I'm
be
not
a
seeing it.
party's, Shubhankar, what is going to be your party's next course of action, supposing if the complaints which are made by BJP, as what we are seeing, these 77 constituencies where they are asking for a repoll, and the complaints have gone, and if EC considers those complaints and doesn't consider the complaints which have gone from TMC, what is going to be the next course of action of the party?
See, I think the party will continue to run to the High Court, run to the Supreme Court continuously, despite of the fact that we are not being heard as we should have been. We should have got a legal rights over there as well. But there also, despite the fact that we are not being heard properly, still it is our duty. It is the duty of the party to knock the door, and they are knocking the legal door continuously, and in fact showing it on they are bringing it out to the people that we are trying our best to put up a best fight to deliver at least a fair election where at least everybody has a level playground. The level playground has never been a thing in this entire election. And one
Right.
thing for sure, Niluji, I tell you, one thing has happened for which I need to thank the BJP, the ECI, and every agency of this country. You have made us proud about a lady who is actually fighting everyone alone. Who is fighting everyone alone? This is one of the biggest fight I have seen of democracy. Uh, it
All
is a
right.
fight for democracy, in fact,
Right.
which one is putting up. And as a lady yourself, Niluji, I think you will feel proud that it is all being fought against one lady, against just one lady. That is
Right.
it. If
Now,
it is Modi versus Mamta, then they have put everything against Mamta Banerjee. So if she shines against every odd that has been planned
all
against her.
right. Now let me get in a perspective on this particular story from Samir. Samir, what is it that you are hearing from the election commission sources? When is this review meeting happening? By when will they? Because obviously they will have to review all those complaints which have been made from Falta and Diamond Harbour to Budge Budge, all these constituencies. And can they look at these complaints in isolation and not look at the complaints which have gone from Trinamool Congress?
See, first let me clarify. Trinamool Congress has not officially sought any repoll. They have not submitted any official complaint of repoll. So EC is now this 77 complaints. That's most of these. Primarily, these complaints are from BJP. The EC is scrutinizing these complaints. A EC team has already gone to Diamond Harbour, and we are expecting a verdict from the EC by tonight. So this is as per the latest on these complaints. Now, it's very interesting. Most of these complaints are from Abhishek Banerjee's parliamentary constituency, Diamond Harbour, where he had won by a margin of over 7 lakhs vote in the parliamentary election. And and this is constituencies, assembly constituencies under Abhishek's parliamentary constituency has been on the focus from beginning. And as you know, Ajay Pal Singh, the so-called Singham, has been deputed there as police observer. Now, after this, very interestingly, now the complaints are raised by BJP, which shows that BJP is also now expressing no confidence on the EC, and the EC is, the most trusted and most, glorified so-called Singham, glorified officer. So what does it say? All these days we were hearing about the EC being partial, allegations of EC being partial. Now this BJP complaint shows that, raise questions about even EC's efficiency. Now after deploying so many officers and so many polling, so many paramilitary forces, how come somebody could tap the BJP symbol? Where was election commission's official? So these raises serious question about efficiency of the commission. Also, all these days we heard complaints about its neutrality, but now you see even the BJP is complaining, and these are not only. I am not talking about only this Repoll EVM tampering. If you see since last
No, but
night,
EVM
immediately
tampering is concerned, Samir, as far as EVM tampering is concerned, all these constituencies from where the complaints have gone, were the EVMs really tampered as what BJP is making out to be?
how can we say this unless and until only the election commission can scrutinize it? But my point is that where was their officials? How this EVMs like if somebody has tapped it, then we were told that every booth will be, there will be CCTV camera, there will be this every booth will be webcast, monitored.
Also the poll officers were wearing those body cameras as well, I believe.
Yes, everything. So how come somebody could tap BJP's symbol, the button? So these are the questions EC need to be answered if they find that such thing has happened. So this is one thing. Apart from that, if you see since last night, immediately after this thing, after elections was over, there were several, and even during election period, there were several instances of attacks, and both BJP and the TMC has alleged that their functionaries were being attacked, and so after putting over 2 lakhs forces on the ground, if election commission cannot control this kind of this kind of incidents, then what is the point? Why have you deployed so many security forces, and some were even pulled out of the sensitive area?
But do you think that BJP is on the back foot if it has to answer these questions which you are raising? That if there was so much of large-scale presence of the paramilitary forces, and if all those precautions were taken to the extent that the poll officers were wearing body cameras, then how on earth were these EVMs? Who on earth really tampered these machines? Will this question not BJP on the back foot and the election commission as well?
More than the BJP, it is the election commission who needs to answer this, because election commission is supposed to be the referee. So
right.
So it is the election commission's duty to let people know how could this kind of thing happen if
right.
it had already happened, if it had actually happened. So these are still at the realm of allegations now, but if it has happened, then how come it could happen? That is what election commission need to answer. And apart from that, we have seen some this BJP workers, BJP supporters in front of central forces assaulted rival party members, and the central forces were just a spectator. So those kind of incidents really raise questions about the neutrality of the forces as well.
Right.
So
right, but one bit what you pointed out, I'm going to ask a question from Shubhankar also, that if there were complaints made by Trinamool Congress also, like what you were pointing out in the initial round of your submission, why didn't you ask for a repoll? Why is there no official complaint from Trinamool regarding a repoll?
No, there hasn't been any request for repoll. Actually, the request was for the removal of extra forces from there, so that you don't spread fear among the voters, the willing voters, and that was done immediately. We thought that the the ECI would take the immediate cognizance of it. The problem is a formal complaint is only complete when a due cognizance is made. You take hold of that particular complaint, and a complaint gets actually registered in the this thing. But if it is outrightly rejected, then it can anytime be claimed that, oh, no such formal complaint has actually turned up. But the problem has been the same thing, because it has been, it was never being heard. There has been, the special numbers given to every your candidates over there, who can actually complain immediately if they doubt any kind of mischief or in any particular booth. That is the kind of thing, it is always available among the electorals in any area. So here also it was there, but the problem is when nobody is giving it, nobody recognizes your problem as a problem, they don't register it, then they can always say that, see, actually nothing came up officially. What official you do need? That in between the elections, do we have to serve you in a particular on a letterhead and then run to you while the voting is going on? It's not much possible. It has to be done on over there only. Now, if it is not registered, you will say that no formal complaint has been received. And then the thing is that, see, with every such complaint, Mamata Banerjee is running to the court. That is why even at most of the time, the court is, they also get irritated. Why are you turning up with every, why do you come crying to us? Why do we come crying to you? Come on, where should we go? Which door have you left? Where, we can knock to get a fair election at least. So that is the problem, Neeluji. Discussing an issue over here becomes a problem in itself.
Right. Let me get in a quick response from you, Shubhankar, also on this story of how IPAC director Vinesh Chandel has been granted bail just a day after West Bengal elections. How would you respond to this development? And then I'll come for the final comments to Samir. Yes.
As a Neeluji, funny, since this case IPAC jumped up, it's every now and then we see often raids on IPAC. And all of a sudden, IPAC has been, so much in this thing, as if other cases they had in Bengal have all actually died. They are not, BJP never, talks about the cases against Shubhendu Adhikari. Now the Narada, Sharada, those papers, they do exist or not, that is even in question. Now everything is IPAC. Chalo, see, this was meant to happen. Now the election is over. I told you. See, Didi couldn't get even the advisory support. That was also snatched from her. All the system was taken away.
Shubhankar, this development, doesn't it surprise you that just a day after the polling is over and the IPAC director gets bail? And his bail is not
changes won't occur till the time only TMC gets surprised. The changes will only occur when people get surprised seeing this, when people start asking questions within themselves. The voters do really deeply think about it. That is this the kind of democracy that you actually planned for? Was this the kind of democracy actually all the freedom, we had the freedom fight for? This is the kind of democracy. It is all being now designed. Everything is being designed. And sooner or later, it is being actually, conceived. This is the last, I think, of the democratic election, because now they have set a precedent. And this is going to be followed in the coming UP elections and the elections again and again and again. Wherever they will find, a tough stand to fight, they will bring in their agencies. They will bring in their every trick they have there in the sleeve. Whether it is democratic or not, they don't bother.
But one last bit, Shubhankar, do you feel that Mamata Banerjee's stand, whatever position she took that day, when we remember all those visuals of how she held the file in her hand and she addressed the media reporters of the day when the raids happened, does she stand vindicated today with this development?
See, all the rhetoric and narrative was actually planned to make her look like a villain. Everything, the media and everything, planned to. But unfortunately, it ended up making her as a hero. She has now totally become a hero of fighting for a democracy, actually. Now, every person who is, standing against BJP, they want to fight like Mamata Banerjee. Now she is becoming an inspiration. And who is making it all? The BJP. Thankfully, it is BJP who has actually who has given Mamta this shine. So now that has been actually now 4th of May will actually tell
No, but
that
the exit polls,
whether they
the exit
accepted.
polls, Shubhankar, all that is fine, but exit polls are showing a neck and neck race, so which means that Mamta could even lose power despite
Are
being
you
such a big champion.
I are you talking about the exit polls which came even before we exited the polls? Are you talking about those polls? Are you talking about those polls? You know, those didn't even take much pain to bring in and changes in the figures that they are given in 2021. The same figures they came up with, turned up with same figures, just adding 2 or 3 digits to it. That's it. That's it. They just added, increase the number by 2 or 3 numbers. That's it. They didn't do their homework. They didn't come to the ground level. They have not done any work at the grassroots level. So this is not poll. We have seen this poll ever since in 2019 Lok Sabha elections. So we are seeing it continuously. In 2024, nobody gave TMC over 17 seats. The highest seat that was given to TMC was 17. And the
Right.
BJP was getting everywhere. BJP was getting over 25 seats. So
Right.
that was the kind of things we were having. What happened actually, that's all in front of you. So again, we go back and we trust these guys. I don't think so.
Right. So I'll come with the final question to Samir. Samir, what are the chances of a repoll in these 77 constituencies? If the repoll happens, will it happen before the counting or after the counting? How does one look at it? Because all eyes are now whether a repoll is going to take place at all. Just unmute yourself. Samir, unmute yourself, please. Yeah.
See, if repoll has to happen, it has to happen before poll. That's why before counting. That's why there is so much gap between the final phase of voting and the announcement of results.
Yes.
So it has to happen before the results. But there is chance that repoll will be ordered because the complaint has been raised by the BJP. So let's have no qualm about it. At least in few booths, I think there will be repoll. But now coming to the question of IPAC, the Vinesh Chandel's bail. Look at the timing. He was arrested just before the first phase of West Bengal Assembly elections, and he has been released just after the second phase of, just a day after the second phase of election was over. So what this surely raised suspicion about the political intent of this entire episode, his arrest and his release, and more so because this is not an isolated incident. If you see the pattern which these central agencies are following, right from teachers recruitment scam, Narda, Sharda, every time before elections they become very proactive, and after elections they forget about these cases. Now Sharda, the prime accused Sudipta Sen, got bail in almost all cases recently, and he was released from jail because after all these years the central investigating agencies could not even file charge sheet.
And Sumita, let me add, it even had the name of Himanta Biswa Sharma. Let's not forget that. It even had the name of Himanta Biswa Sharma, which we had actually never talk about it. We only stop at Subhendu Adhikari and Mukul Roy. So that's it. Thank you.
All right. Yes, Samir, conclude. Yeah.
So this is a pattern which has, even this as if these raids and these arrests are made only to, create a narrative that favor BJP. So, so I am not surprised that ED didn't even, oppose the bail plea. Probably because they don't have much to show against the accused.
Yes.
So it's not only the election commission or entire machinery apparently is being used in this election.
Right. All right. So
So,
one
as
final word from you, Samir, on when the election, by when possibly can election commission decide whether at all repolling will happen or not happen? When will they make an official announcement by midnight tonight? What can we expect?
yes, yeah, the indications are that announcement will be, they will take the final call by tonight.
All right. All right. So we'll have to wait and watch because that's an important development. And if at all the repolling is announced, then of course we'll have to see how it shapes up again. Thank you so much. We'll have to end it here. I think Shubhankar has left. Samir, thank you very much for joining.